First United, hey, we want to take a moment to thank you for your financial giving to First United in 2021. We know we sent you out your statement of giving, but this is just a video to thank you for putting God first in your finances. Your gift is an investment that helps us create a place and a space for people to connect with God and each other through a life-changing relationship for Jesus Christ. And as the pastor of this church, I'm just extremely grateful for your willingness to do so. We talk a lot in our church about giving beyond our church. We do that because when we're blessed, we're called to be a blessing. And there are lots of ministries and events we support beyond First United. But this video is to tell you about how your gift, how your financial contribution to the church was an investment here that has transformed lives. And it'd be easy for me to talk about children and youth ministries, which we've kicked back into gear after some topsy-turvy years with COVID. They're both doing well and growing and helping young men and young women of all ages, from infant to 18, connect with Jesus Christ. It'd be easy to talk about our small groups and our Bible studies and our growth groups that continue to help adults deepen their faith. We've got our worship services that are our number one way that people discover hope when they come and they experience the uplifting music and the excitement, and then in the messages that kind of push and challenge us to take the next step on our journey of faith. We know those, we see those, we experience those, but as a pastor, I sometimes get to see some behind the scenes moments I just think you need to know about, because these behind the scenes moments are because you've made an investment. You may not be there. You may not have participated in this, but because you financially supported the ministries of this church, that you made an investment with your gift, this is the return on the investments. And so something you need to know is, we live stream all our services, and we started doing that before the pandemic, but it really kicked off in the pandemic. And I'll confess, there's some moments where I'm like, really? Is this a service? But it's kind of the new world, and I think it's going to continue. It's one of those moments that I was struggling with that. We had somebody show up at the church office. That person showed up at the church office. She says, I've never been to this church before, but I've been worshiping for the last 3 months online. And one of the things that had happened in the sermon had challenged her in such a way that she wanted to come into church and to make the connection and make the commitment about what she was going to do for the church. That's one moment right there. It's kind of a big moment for me. Can I tell you a powerful moment? We had a couple of times last year where we had some beach baptisms. If you haven't come to one of our beach baptisms, you're missing out. You will definitely see a return on your investment at the beach baptism. There's something powerful about when we put them down in the waves and they come out of the water. Every time somebody's come out of that water, they are always filled with joy and enthusiasm. It's like their life has been transformed, because it has been. They have made that commitment to Jesus Christ. Their life is beginning new and fresh, and it's such a moment of celebration. And I just want you to know, even though you may not have been at that baptism, even though you may not even know the person who's being baptized, because you gave here to First United, you invested in the kingdom here, lives are transformed, and you're part of that moment. One of our staff members a few weeks ago, or months ago now, I guess, got a phone call from a neighbor who has kind of been watching us online, participating online, and knew about one of our activities that we were doing a drive to help out for a ministry. And they said, hey, we want to participate in that. And they gave some gifts. And can you take this to the church? So people beyond who just attend here are being affected by what we've done. I was really pleased a while ago when we started talking about with a church member who was so excited. They were at church about 15 to 20 minutes early, which is somewhat of a miracle for most of our church. But they were there about 15, 20 minutes before the service, and they were just kind of bouncing in the lobby. And I went to them and I said, hey, what are you doing here? They'll say, I have a friend. I've been inviting a friend to church, and they told me they're showing up today, so I'm waiting to meet them. And the friend came, and I got introduced to the friend. We made a connection, and after the service was over, the friend really kind of talked about how powerful that moment had been. He said, I'll see you next week, and that friend's still showing up to this day. You see what happens when you give and you allow us to provide a place and a space? Lives begin to be transformed. I can keep telling you story after story of different ways that God has moved. I bet you have some ways where you've seen and experienced God moving in your life. There were some funerals last year. And sometimes I think, oh gosh, we spend a lot on money on a building and things like that. Boy, those funerals reminded me the power of the building. for families and friends to gather together to celebrate someone's life, to mourn their loss, and to look forward to resurrection. God moved in several funerals last year, just felt the presence, right? We wouldn't have that space if you didn't make that investment. I just want to thank you, First United, for all you've done, for your willingness to put God first in your finances. And we ask you to continue to do that. 2022 is here. We're really excited about some of the things that are going to be coming down the pike over this year. And the truth is, we don't know some of the stuff because every year's been a little bit chaotic recently. So we're looking forward to the opportunities. What I am grateful for are those of you who have partnered with us to say, this is the church, this is the place, this is the space where I am connecting with God. And so I'm going to give of what I have. And what I love is that becomes an investment, and there's a huge return on it in the kingdom of God. So thanks for your faithfulness. And I just want to challenge you. If you're tithing, if you're at the tithe, which is kind of the standard, the church for thousands of years said, hey, this is the goal. Great, keep it up. Thanks for your faithfulness. For those of us that are not quite there yet, I just want to encourage you to give 1% more this year. You've got your financial returns. You can see how much you gave last year. Give 1% more. Right after my last giving sermon a couple of weeks ago, we had two people, one at both the gathering place where Amy preached and one here at First United. Both of them were young, under the age of 30. And they both came up to us and said, hey, that sermon challenged me. I'm moving 1% more. Huge faith step. Huge life transforming moment that we've got to celebrate. So First United, you're part of all these moments that I get to see where lives have been transformed and changed. So thank you for that, and I promise to keep telling you more stories so you can see how your investment truly has made a difference. Peace out.